On March 6, 2026, Donald Trump stood in front of the world and said only one thing would stop this war. Not a ceasefire, not a deal, surrender. He gave Iran a deadline, then another deadline, then a third one. 4 months later, Iran did not surrender. In fact, according to the foreign policy expert who have actually read the final agreement, Iran got almost everything it wanted. So what actually happened in those 4 months? Why did the world's most powerful military launch an attack that killed the lateral head of state of another country and still end up signing what experts are calling a lopsided deal? To understand that, we need to go back, not just 4 months back. We need to go back 47 years to the exact moment two countries become enemy for life. For a decade before 1979, Iran and America were actually friends, close friends. Iran was ruled by a king, the Shah, who America had helped put back in power a decade earlier. After a coup overthrow, Iran elected government in 1953. Though Shah was helpful to America, he sold oil, bought weapons, and kept the Soviet Union out of the Middle East. But inside Iran, people were furious. Those are secret police tortured dissidents. The wealth gap was brutal, and to most ordinary Iranians, their own king looked like a less leader and more like a America puppet. By 1979, that anchor exploded into revolution. Those Shah fled the country, and a new leader took his place, a religious cleric named Ayatollah Khamenei, who hated everything America stood for. Then America made one decision that sealed the relationship forever. They let the exiled Shah into the United States for cancer treatment. To Iranians, this was not medical care. This looked like America preparing to put their hated king back on the throne again. So on November 4th, 1979, a group of American students stormed the US embassy in Tehran. They took 66 American hostages. 52 of them stayed hostage for 444 days straight. It became one of the most humiliating moments in modern American history. And it happened on live television every single night for over a year. This is the moment that created the enemy, not a war, not a missile, a hostage crisis that lasted longer than most wars do. And from that day forward, Iran and America were never trusted each other. What happened next is 4 decades of proxy war, secret deals, and broken trust. America backed Iraq dictator Saddam Hussein when he invaded Iran in 1980, a war that killed up to 1 million people. Iran responded by building something just as powerful as an army, a network. They formed an armed group across the Middle East, Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Iraq, and other allies who would fight for Iran's interest without Iran's name ever being on the attack. This is sometimes called Iran axis of resistance, and for decades it lets Iran fight America allies without ever fighting America directly. Meanwhile, Iran quietly doing something else, building a nuclear program. By those 2000s, the world was terrified. Iran was building a nuclear program. In 2015, after a year of negotiation, a deal was finally signed, the JCPOA, when Iran agreed to limit its nuclear program in exchange for the world lifting sanctions. Here's something most people don't even know. Before the big war in 2026, there was already a war in 2025. In June 2025, while America and Iran were negotiating again, Israel launched a surprise attack on Iran nuclear and military facilities. With Trump knowledge, the US eventually joined in directly. 12 days later, a ceasefire. Both sides claimed victory, but nothing was actually resolved. Iran economy was collapsing under sanctions. In December, that pressure boiled over into nationwide protest. The regime crushed them. But Washington started wondering, is this the moment to finish what the 12-day war started? Early 2026, one more diplomatic attempt began. Through Oman, though quid go between for two countries who refused to speak directly. The talk centered on the same question as always, Iran nuclear program. But those talks collapsed, and on a day that would change everything, America struck, killing Iran's supreme leader Khamenei himself. Iran did not stay quiet. Within hours, it fired hundreds of missiles and thousands of drones, not just at Israel but at American bases across the Middle East. At least three Americans were killed. Then Iran did something that hurt the entire world, not just its enemy. It shut down the Strait of Hormuz. About 20% of the world's entire oil supply passes through this narrow strait, and Iran just closed it. Inside Iran, Khamenei own son was named successor, a country built on religious authorities, now passing power within a single bloodline. The very thing the 1979 revolution was supposed to destroy. Trump responds only unconditional surrender would end this. Deadline after deadline passes. Iran did not move. The war ground on 4 weeks. Thousands were dead, most of them in Iran, Lebanon. And the world felt it too. In the UK, diesel price hit their highest level since December 2022. In Vietnam, people panic bought fuel. Brent crude surged past $120 a barrel, the largest oil supply dispersal in the history of the global market. Don't tr- War in the Middle East don't stay in the Middle East. They show up in your fuel tank, your grocery bill, your heating cost. By April, with the global economy bleeding, a conditional ceasefire was declared, mediated by Pakistan. But the real ending came in June. On June 18th, 2026, the US lifted its blockade of Iranian port. Iran new leadership signed a memorandum of understanding to end the fighting and reopen the strait. On paper, America won. They struck fast till the supreme leader forced Iran to the table. But when policy analysts read the actual agreement, the verdict was blunt. It's lopsided. Iran get most of what it wanted. Upfront before the harder issue are even negotiated, America get very little. Israel get even less. So ask yourself, if America won this war, why does the peace deal look like Iran wrote it? Some analysts believe in the answer is simple. After everything the death, the economy damage, the global oil crashes, nobody could actually afford for this war to continue any longer. Iran did not have to win the war, it just had to survive it.